Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episodic installation of Above It All. This is the series in which I talk about politics and how again, trigger warning, I know right-wingers don't like when people are confident in themselves, but I'm literally better than everybody else. Every other human who has ever been spawned into existence in this universe, even if you combine all of their forces, I would still be better than them. I am a majority of human kindness and goodness. I am at least 51% of all of humanity's collective goodness. I'm just a great person. I'm better than you. Like, you, the person watching this, should create a shrine to me in your chamber of residency just because I'm that much better than you. But now that that's already out of the way, I've spent a minute talking about how great I am. So anyone who's watched this video and is a right-winger and who's afraid of, challenging this, they've probably already left, they've already disliked, they've already called me like a queer fucking loser or whatever the fuck they're gonna do. And now we can get to the meat of this video. Even though I'm a vegetarian, I don't like meat. Because again, I'm better than you, and I'm just morally superior. But we're gonna get to the meat and also potatoes, except no meat because I'm a vegetarian, of this video, and we're gonna talk about Ben Shapiro. He said some very interesting things, and I want to take a look-see and see what he's got to say.
Okay, the fact is that striking in a time of pandemic, not because of bad worker pay, but because you just want more money. I'm sorry, everyone else lost their job. Everyone else lost their damn job. Okay, if I were Amazon and I had the capacity, I'd fire everybody who strikes right now, and I'd bring in workers who are willing to work. I would, because it's unconscionable.
This is the thing. Okay, so on a serious note, first of all, of course, Ben Shapiro's a fucking moron. Second of all, the whole theory of labor action, this is a moment where it raises the political consciousness of all these people that are essential workers, right? Seeing a lot of your friends and family lose their job and knowing that their livelihoods depend on not Jeff Bezos, not any of these CEOs, but you. It raises your ability to perceive your own self-worth. And that's what's super interesting about this moment right now that is happening to all of us. But a lot of people say, this is a thing that a lot of people have said to me. I used to be a live streamer. I had a lot of gamer dude bros follow me. And every time I would mention anything political, they'd be like, I hate politics. I just got a text message. I hate politics. It triggers me. And I just... But now, look at us. We're in the middle of a pandemic. It's not like you can just not talk about politics. I'm sorry. Politics is in everyone's fucking minds all the time. During a pandemic, during when you can't leave the fucking house because, you might catch a disease that would kill you. And that's a little bit hyperbolized, but in a lot of places like cities, in New York City, that's not really a hyperbole. So, we're looking at an area where people are a lot more politically aware, they're a lot more open to these kind of concepts, and then they realize that, oh, wait, all this power, all the economy, the entire economy is literally put onto my back. These workers that are essential workers realize that without me, everything crumbles. Everything turns to shit. So they're realizing this, they're banding together, and they're doing what should have been done a long time ago. We haven't had a minimum wage increase in 10 years. We're doing things that should have been done decades ago, that should have been done years and years and years ago. We're striking. We're realizing, again, our collective self-worth, and as a class in this society, we cannot continue without us. And so now's the time where we have the maximum power, the maximum leverage. And if we don't use it now to get something out of this that can propel us to a better society going forward to the nightmare scenario of a Trump second term, which is even ever more likely, if we don't do something now, when are we going to do something? So let's continue with what Ben Shapiro's got to say, that now that your brain has been enlightened by my excellent political philosophicalizations. So I'm going to click this video, and then I'm going to check my text message.
The reason I say it's unconscionable is not only are you depriving people of the supply lines that are keeping the country running right now, not only that, but Amazon offered you additional benefits already. This is not your striking because Amazon's forcing you to go to work.
This is one of those things where, again, he's gaslighting you. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, This is what Democrats do all the time, the fucking rat fuckers that they are. Oh, you want Medicare for all? But we already gave you Obamacare, and yeah, sure, your mother is dead because she didn't have insurance, and Obamacare didn't really help her or other 40, 50,000 families every year that lose a loved one, but we gave you Obamacare. How dare you ask for more? Like, it's the same thing. They're gaslighting you into thinking because your situation, because your material situation is so terrible as it is, oh, we're giving you some crumbs sprinkling on, some little sprinkles on your shit sandwich. Does that make you feel better? You should thank us. You should kiss our feet because we're giving you an extra $2 an hour, even though your wages are half of what they should be. You know, like, it's unbelievable. But again, he's gaslighting you. He wants you to not realize that you're worth more than you are. He wants you to think that you're a piece of garbage. He wants you to think, oh, the only thing I'll ever be is a worker, and then I come home and drink beer and then hit my dog. He wants you to think that you're a shitty fucking piece of garbage and that you're not worth anything good, because that's how the right-wingers control our government. That's why we have Steve Mnuchin as the Treasury Secretary, because it's just been decades of neoliberalism that's not combated it. It's not an effective opposition, and rank neoconservatism and austerity. We are in a situation where everyone just thinks that, yeah, this is the way things are, and it's not the way things should be. Look at Europe. They at least have universal healthcare systems, and yeah, are they great? Are they the best thing ever? No, but they're certainly a hell of a lot better than what we've got here, and that's what we have to keep our eyes on. The ball here, yes, incrementalism is better, but is it the fastest way we can achieve these things? Is it the best way that we can achieve these things? Probably not. So let's see what else Ben fucking motherfucking goddamn stupid fuck McFuck shit Shapiro has to say.
On March 31st, today, Whole Foods employees are going to call in sick to demand paid leave for all workers who stay home or self-quarantine during the crisis. Free coronavirus testing for all employees. Hazard pay. Here's the big one. Hazard pay of double the current hourly wage for employees who show up to work during the pandemic.
People keep touting free coronavirus testing. What if you go to test yourself because you think you have the coronavirus, and it turns out, no, you've just got a flu? And then you also have to think about, like, what if the person administering the test has coronavirus, tests you, you come back negative, but because you talk to a health official that has the coronavirus, you have a false negative now. You go home, you have the coronavirus, but you're just freshly in your mind thinking, no, I'm fine. Or, like, you know, like, and then, like, it turns out it's something else, and you have a $3,000 bill you have due. So, no, free coronavirus testing is not good enough. It needs to be free. If you have a headache and you go to the doctor and say, just like, oh, it might be the coronavirus, that should all be free. You know, like, everything should be free at the point of service in healthcare. But, like, it's one of those things where, like, what if you come back negative? Then it doesn't get covered. You know what I mean? Like, it's bizarre.
Your pay doubled?
Like, and then also it's like, yeah, your pay is doubled, but again, when your wages are $7.25, or in Amazon's instance, they raised their wages, but either way, if we were to have tied to inflation, our hourly wages as low-class workers would be $25 an hour. So, like, if you would have tied it to inflation from the 1970s and 80s. So it's one of those things where, like, yeah, it's better. But is it good enough? Especially during a pandemic when, like, the demand for things is skyrocketing and supply is crashing and prices are fucking being gouged to oblivion. Is it enough? Hell no. But again, he wants you to think you're not worth it. He wants you to think you're a piece of garbage, because having any self-care, having self-appreciation is bad when you're a right-winger. You got to be an individual. You gotta be by yourself all the time. You know, like, you gotta just, it's ridiculous.
Just for showing up to work while everyone else in the country is out of work? I'm sorry, no. Okay, and by the way, the actual thing that Whole Foods has done, Whole Foods, buried in this article from Vice, has increased hourly pay for its workers already by $2 an hour in the midst of all this. They've offered to provide 2 weeks of paid sick leave to workers who test positive for COVID-19 and said it would not...
So, only if you get sick. Right? That's the thing is you work until you get sick and you literally can't work anymore. What about the people that they live with their family, they live with their parents, and their mother's immunocompromised and they don't want to have to work and potentially get sick? Oh, I got sick and now I get the free pay or whatever, but then my mom dies because she caught the COVID. Like that's one of those situations where it's like, okay, we should be looking at a case by case basis. Not, oh, if you get sick, then maybe we'll help you pay for your relief as the hospitals are fucking filling up and as you might not even be able to have a doctor anymore. Like, oh yeah, we'll pay for your COVID insurance as you go to the hospital and there's no bed and there's no doctor available for you and you've got the coronavirus. But hey, at least you got free insurance, right? Like, that's one of those things. We need to be preventing people from getting this virus, not just, oh, well, if you get it, we'll help you. And then they might not actually be able to help you because, again, our society is crumbling. So again, it means nothing. That means nothing. And the fact that, again, this guy's a rich motherfucker. This guy has money to fund his great-grandkids' fucking prosperity. So this guy doesn't know what it's like. He has no care in the world. He just wants to make sure that you, the person watching this, feel like you're not worth it. And that's the core message of this right-wing propaganda machine, is it wants you to feel like you're powerless. It wants you to feel like you're all by yourself. But you're not. You're not, because there are people out there in your same position that need the same things that you need, and if you band together, you can collectively bargain, and there's nothing wrong with that. So let's see what else he has to say.
Penalize workers for calling out sick. So already saying we're not going to penalize you, we're not going to fire you if you call out sick, but you need to go get a test because we don't just want people staying home without getting a test, which is perfectly reasonable because you need the supply chains working. A Whole Foods worker in Chicago, organizer of the sick out, who wished to remain anonymous because they feared retaliation. They should be fired outright. The most obvious demand we have is for an increase in hazard pay. We're asking for double pay. Double pay. Since we first announced the intent to do a sick out, Whole Foods announced a temporary raise of $2 an hour, which isn't enough. Okay, I'm sorry. What happens if all the cops call out sick because they want double pay? What happens if all of the medical professionals call out sick because they want double pay?
What happened?
You want to talk? It's funny. Everybody is happy to talk about people in the speculative market buying up coronavirus masks and then trying to sell them for $1,000 on eBay. This is the same damn thing. You're asking for double pay in the midst of a pandemic because you know that those employees are necessary in order to make sure that the old people get their food.
Yeah, I love how he finally stumbles on to, like, the real good part about this. But again, he frames it as terrible. Like, why do people like him say, oh yeah, people that hoard masks, they're just believing in the free market. They're doing what Americans are supposed to do. Right? But, like, when you do the same thing so that you can feed your fucking kids, all of a sudden that's a bad thing. Again, like the situation I described. Like, yes, you should be able to leave your job if you live with immunocompromised people and you don't want to put them in danger. And there should be no problems with that. It shouldn't be anything you have to collectively bargain for. That should just be on the table. You know what I mean? Like, there are so many situations out there, and again, people are already struggling. People are already struggling, and they see that this is an opportunity to level the playing field. Like, Jeff Bezos has over 100 billion fucking motherfucking dollars. He could do so much more, but he's not. And that's what you have to really factor in here. People always go like, oh, Mark Zuckerberg gave 0.004% of his net worth to helping coronavirus relief. Okay, and he's still sitting pretty trying to build like a fucking Aquarius fucking civilization for him and the billionaires to live on when society crumbles so they don't guillotine him, right? Like, so why should he be allowed to do that? He shouldn't. He should be allowed to he's technically allowed, but he should be compelled to equally distribute his wealth and profits, because without him, he wouldn't be where he is. Like, sure, he had a good idea, but like, oh, you're going to use the internet to make people meet each other? I mean, it's not like it's a galaxy brain thing. A good idea in the .com situation is just the first person to come up with something obvious. You know what I mean? Like, so we have the internet, right? And we already have websites where people meet, but we could just do it better. Like, duh, like, no, wow, fucking genius award over here. Like, okay, wow, you're a really fucking great contributor to society. You do so much. Like, it's ridiculous, these people's, like, self-worth evaluations, where meanwhile they tell you that you're worth nothing. Well, guess what? If you're an essential worker, talk to your coworkers, see what they're doing. If you're not already in one of these industries that's unionizing, start trying to do it. If you're like a local, Grocer, if you're a local chain or something that, like, maybe like ShopRite in the Northeast or whatever, like, if you're in one of these situations that is local but not nationwide, but like also not like a mom and pop store, like, see what you can do, because there's a lot of these situations where you've got like, like Food Lion is a chain I've never heard of until I moved to North Carolina. Well, I wonder what they're doing. Like, you should all try to band together collectively, see what your coworkers are doing, and so forth, because this is an opportunity like no other to, again, realize your self-worth. And that's really what this is all about, is you have to understand that everyone's eyes are on you right now. You should not have to suffer. You are the most valuable players in this game. So while people like Bill Gates are hoarding $60 billion, like, you should be thinking, why are they able to hoard $60 billion when I'm the one breaking my motherfucking back out there? You should be, if anyone has in this equation has $60 billion, you should be the one with $60 billion. And that's what's super important here. Again, realizing your self-worth. It is a very grand thing to realize, like when you realize that you as a person aren't just pure scum and you should just, like, fester on the sidewalk. Like, it's a great thing. And Ben Shapiro, the whole right-wing machine, is, again, it's trying to gaslight you and tell you that you're not as good as them, or not as good as what you think you can be, but you are. And that's what's important. So thank you for watching this vid, and I will see you again very soon. Bye bye!